Councilman DuPont.
Here.
Councilwoman Horgan.
Here.
Councilwoman Lee.
Here.
Councilman Murphy.
Here.
Sunshine Statement.
Let the minutes reflect that in compliance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Open Public Meetings Act, the notice of this meeting has been provided by notifying the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and the Star Ledger, placing a notice on the bulletin board and filing the same with the Borough Clerk on January 1, 2013.
Thank you. There are nothing in terms of suspension order of business, no workshop. Approval of the minutes, October 9th motion.
Move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are no mayoral appointments, no reports from mayor and council committee members, and no communications and petitions. Any members of the public wish to have any comments on any resolutions, since we have no ordinances on the agenda this evening? Resolutions only. Now's the time. Seeing none, motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There are no ordinances for first or public hearing. Resolutions by consent. Resolution 13-232 to Resolution 13-237. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Proclamations, there are none. Payment of vouchers be resolved by the mayor and council to be paid on the attached check registry totaling $578,247.70. Motion. Councilman DuPont, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Old business, any old business? Any new business? Audience, any members of the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Okay. My name is Christy O'Brien. I'm a 9-year resident of 51 Garfield Place. I'm here because some of our...
What's your last name, Christine?
O'Brien?
O'Brien, okay.
Yes, Christy O'Brien.
Thank you.
I live on Garfield Place. I'm here to talk about some traffic measures that a neighbor of mine had mentioned in the last council meeting. This is kind of a more formal follow-up. Art was here last meeting?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean on, okay, this is not on the Walgreen application.
No.
Yes,
Sorry. Yeah,
this is
not
on the
really
traffic
related.
count that we talked about in terms of the
Just
the
the
lane low,
increased traffic that we're seeing in our
yes.
neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I've prepared just something a little more formal that I thought I'd hand out and we can all take a look
Sure.
at.
Thank you.
That's okay? Sure.
Mr. Bryan, what's your address on Garfield?
51,
Red Bank, Blue Silver.
Red Bank.
Thank you. I think as you're passing those out, Ms. O'Brien, my recollection is that I think I suggested to Mr. Zimanis that that the neighbors get together and talk a little bit.
Yeah.
And we would be acceptable, we would be amenable to receiving information and also to passing it on to the police department and also the engineer so that we can act on it. So that my confusion was that I know that there was a traffic expert done with the Walgreen application. We can't consider that.
Understood.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, it's the other thing we talked about.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about just strictly some increase in traffic that we've
Sure.
seen within the neighborhood. And we're asking for some help in implementing some measures that we think can create a safer area for pedestrians, neighborhood visitors, our children. We happen to have 8 children under the age of 8 in the neighborhood. We also happen to have 14 pets. People walk their dogs all the time. Our street, Garfield, on the, let's see, southwest corner, there's a medical building. Oftentimes they're professionals during lunch will walk through our street, so they're exercising and they're looking to take a break, so people are walking through. Neighboring neighborhoods will walk their pets through. We have in between East Lake and West Lake Drive, which is the first right off of Garfield, we have a green island where people are throwing balls to dogs, and it's a good place to walk your dog because of that existing island. Also, RBC's sports team use our neighborhood to cross through to their football field. So, in summary, in certainly the 9 years that I've lived here, my neighbors much longer, I've certainly seen a significant increase in traffic. My daughter, for her 4th birthday this weekend, is going to be getting a bike, and this is of concern to me. We want to be able to walk in the street, we want to be able to ride our bikes and walk our pets and live freely in the neighborhood. So what I've done here is we've met with the neighbors many times, and this is kind of what we thought we'd present in agreement. And the thing that I'd like to point out, I don't expect that we go through in each and every detail, but there are a few things that I'd like to point out. One is, regardless of what occupies that Rassus space, that we consider making Garfield Place heading west a one-way, up to the point where those businesses end or begin, where the street would be two-way, very similar to Wyckoff Place, which is across the street from Garfield, on the other side of the Foodtown property, where you can turn a left, but in the middle of the street, you could actually exit Foodtown and make a left or a right. So similar instance. So if we made Garfield a two-way street, exiting, entering from Broad, up to the point of where the businesses stop, and then from that point on, one way headed west. I've also included a map, which you'd see on page 4, which is just an illustration to show how we're suggesting the traffic flow. As well as do not enter signs, so that cars that are coming in, whether it be from the medical building or whatever occupies the Rasa spot, know that they can't continue down the street. And then it's just some traditional signs, speed limits, which we have none of, a few stop signs that we thought might help also mitigate speeding cars that come through, and also 4-ton limit. I have a photo appendix throughout this presentation, one which will show heavy trucks that are coming through the neighborhood daily, and if we could somehow have help in minimizing the size of those trucks that can come through, that would help greatly as well.
You did a nice job on this.
Thank you. So, yeah, you know,
You want to be the volunteer traffic consultant for the borough of Brookhaven? Pays a big $1 a
very
year.
busy woman, I appreciate the offer. You know, Garfield and Grant are very quiet streets without this traffic, and I have pictures in here that were supplied by some of my neighbors. It really is, you know, I called it here a hidden gem. When I tell people where I live, they always comment, wow, you know, people don't really know about the neighborhood, it's nice and quiet, and we see a lot of kids, and we see a lot of pets, and it really is that. I also have a photo in here. I worked from home last Friday, and I went for a run at noon, and the traffic at the corner of let's see, Broad and Maple? Maybe that light? The light in front of Foodtown, in front of Rassus, the traffic was backed up all the way to East Bergen. That's 2 lights back in the middle of the day. You know, that's not even a peak hour. And people are getting frustrated. They're coming through the neighborhood. And you know, I, as a resident, when I want to get to the Grove, I don't always go that way. I'm even taking the side roads, but I live there. So people are now, they're learning the tricks, they're cutting through, and we do believe that there's a real safety concern, and you know, we'd like to bring attention to it and ask for some help.
Mr. O'Brien, I think the simple and the quick answer, I believe, and I'm speaking on behalf of all members of the council, is first of all, thank you for your efforts, and I want to thank Mr. Zamanis because he followed through on what we asked him to do, and I see that I recognize many of his signatures at the end, including one relative of mine.
Sure.
Who's very opinionated at age 90.
Right.
So it's helpful to us, that's number one. Number two, you've done what we asked you to do, and now it's time for us to circulate it and take the appropriate review. So this will be given by me and by the commissioner to the police department. We will sit down with it very expeditiously and take a look at it. And based upon, I'm not an engineer, but based upon what I've seen here, I believe that all of your recommendations and suggestions are reasonable.
Sure.
And I believe that they will be met favorably by the council as soon as we get our traffic safety officer to agree on it. One of the things that I know Councilman DuPont brought to my attention, I guess about 2 weeks ago, and we talked about it very early, I think it's 7 o'clock on a Monday morning, and that is that we in Red Bank also favor the greater implementation of four-way directional stop signs and in your neighborhood, even outside of the targeted area that you've chosen, but similar neighborhoods in the South Street and Hudson Avenue area and Bergen Place, there is a dying need for four-way stop signs because there's just a lot more kids who are walking to school, and the traffic has to be slowed down, especially cut-through traffic that comes from other towns on the peninsula down Bergen Place. So I think that this is helpful for us to get the start off, but I think what we're already looking at is outside of there to slow down traffic even further by having more four-way stop signs
That would be great.
and South Street and Bergen Place, as well as perhaps Hudson Avenue and Bergen Place would probably be the next available targeted points because the traffic has to slow down. But unless there's objection, which I don't think that there is, this will go directly to the Traffic Safety Department, and I anticipate that probably not by the November 7th meeting, because that's too soon, but perhaps the second council meeting in November, we will be able to come up with a recommendation from Traffic Safety and the Police Department, and I'm sure that the press will probably advise, but I would target, Pam, what's the second meeting in November? Okay, well, let's talk about that right now. Evidently, the 20th is the regular meeting, but that's going to be moved to when?
Yeah, of course.
Monday the 18th?
So Ms. O'Brien, I mean, just real quick,
Sure.
the office building's on the corner of Broad and Garfield, right?
Yeah.
So they would enter to go to work on Pinckney Road, and they would have the option of when they leave to go left or right,
That's right.
according to, yes.
Yeah, so, and oftentimes their parking lot's full,
Yeah,
so their customers, their patients park on the street.
yeah. And you know what, I don't mean to interrupt, Mayor, don't we have a 4-ton limit on the residential streets? Didn't we do that with RJ?
I think so.
We do, but this is helpful. I think
Or was
it's-
it certain streets? We'll look into it, right?
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions? I'm happy to talk through any of this.
I thought the request for more information.
No, I think it works out.
Yes, more come work for
So there is a petition enclosed. I also, just for your information, I Google mapped the houses and neighborhoods, and you can see we have 100% consensus. Everyone within the neighborhood has agreed to it, so that you won't be getting phone calls later saying I didn't, because they have.
I'm gonna need a number, some way to, somehow
There's-
to get in contact with you.
There's contact information on the last page.
Is your name-
My cell phone, my home number, and my email.
the petition right there on the very last page.
Oh, okay, great, good. Yeah, Mayor, and I'll hand this to Travis.
Unless there's any further questions on it, the only other follow-up, and we'll add a resolution in a few minutes, would be to change the November 20th meeting, which is actually the lead night, to Monday, November 18th, which would be 2 days before. So unless there's objection, the council meeting and this matter should be on our agenda for November 18th.
Great. So we'll continue discussion at that point.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that, like I said, we'll probably be ready to act that night.
Okay, great.
As soon as we get recommendations. Yes, Art?
Mr. Mayor, the only thing is that the other night I was at the planning board meeting, I believe that the next meeting is on the 18th for the planning board.
Is it?
So I don't know.
It is, that's right. We were here, yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's a planning board night.
So I just want to bring that to you.
Then it would have to be the 25th, I guess. Sorry about that, guys. See, I'm not participating in Walgreens, so I don't know what the next meeting is. So it'll be the 25th. I don't anticipate that the Walgreens application will be finished by the 18th. Okay.
I just want to mention that.
Any other questions on this? You have to come up because you have to get you on tape.
I just wanted to ask Chrissy something.
They can't get you on tape from back there. Sorry, don't be shy.
No, I'm not.
Your name and address,
Gina
please.
Slater, 14 Grant Place.
Thank you.
The lamppost that we have on here, which we don't have,
Right.
which we've been without for about 4 or 5 years. Our street is so dark.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought I went first. There was a traffic accident
Yeah.
on the street at one point, and the lamppost was not replaced, and we're just asking for replacement in addition to
Right.
the other things.
Stanley, call Public Works, let them know right away.
There's no existing lamppost there right now.
It is pretty dark.
Yeah.
Is the base there?
No,
Nothing,
nothing is
the
there.
whole structure's been removed. And in fact, the curb is broken in the sidewalk. It was
You
just,
know,
it was
I'm
never
I'm
just.
having a meeting with JCP&L. We had that meeting, Stan. I think it's next week.
It used to be a gas lamppost that was there. like you have on the corners.
What, Victorian?
Yes,
We'll
yes.
bring it up at the JCP&L meeting.
Great.
I think we've got about 4 dozen